Hello there, welcome to saberduelgaming, where we always take the high ground, and today we are doing a review of Wario's Woods, the last game to ever be released in North America for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Released in 1994, this came 2 years after Wario had made his debut in Game Boy's Super Mario Land 2. Whilst many, myself included, would have liked to have seen a Wario 2D platform game, we'd have to wait a little longer for that, and instead his first solo outing was Wario's Woods, a platform game in a similar vein to games like Tetris, and the, whilst imperfect, much loved Dr. Mario. The question then remains, was Wario's Woods as successful? Well, let's find out. From the intro, we had a basic menu screen. You have the main game mode, a time race, and a versus game, as well as a little bit of a lesson mode as well. Pretty much what you'd expect in games like Tetris or this. And then the game itself started. And realistically, this is where some of the difficulties started to slip in. You see, Nintendo had already instigated the perfect puzzler in Tetris, and whilst Dr. Mario wasn't exactly perfect, it still had its charm. With Wario's Woods, the developers tried something different, and instead of the player controlling the falling pieces, you control Toad, as he moves around the screen, moving the items for you. And this minor but key difference caused quite the stir. Some people found it really intuitive and creative, however many found it a little bit convoluted and said that it made the game unnecessarily complex. It probably didn't help that Toad was hardly one of the most popular characters from the Mario franchise, and instead of playing as Wario, he's who we were stuck playing as, with occasional cameos from Super Mario Bros. 2-star Birdie. Because of this, reviews were really mixed. It was getting everything from 2 stars out of 5 to 4 stars out of 5, and 70% to 80%. It really came down to how well you managed this change of controls. A reviewer from Next Generation magazine probably stated it best. With input and effort, you can genuinely become invested in this game, but as they stated, the learning curve is just too steep and the rewards too slim. Looking back on this game from a retro perspective, it's clear that it just doesn't stand the test of time in the same way games like Dr. Mario and especially Tetris do. What makes those puzzlers and especially Tetris work so well is their simplicity. This game doesn't have that. I expected to be able to pick it up and just play, but it took me ages to figure out what the hell was going on. And also, in line with this, I actually made quite a bit of progress without really understanding the controls or even what I was meant to be doing. I just moved around and kept pressing the buttons and cleared lines of this puzzle quite by accident. On a side note, it's worth pointing out that it doesn't help that we're not even playing as Wario. He's just a villain that appears in a picture in the right hand corner of the screen, occasionally replacing the equally annoying Birdie. That said, I can understand why they named it Wario's Woods. If they'd named it after the real star of the game, Toad, I doubt many people would have been that interested. There really isn't much else to say. So, how does it score? Well, unfortunately, I've got no interest in playing this again, and for me, it gets a 4 out of 10. A lackluster game and a sad end for the NES. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please feel free to subscribe, comment below and give us a thumbs up. And you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok.